Picture this, you're cruising down the open road, wind blowing in your hair, beautiful weather, it's a perfect day, when all of a sudden, your car starts shaking, you don't know what to do. Oh, it's a flat tire. That's the worst. But don't let it deflate your spirits. You can fix it. I'm going to show you how to safely remove your tire and replace it. And if you're prepared, I'll show you how to repair it as well. We're going to do it on this golf cart today, so come along with me. Let's do it. All right, the tools you need to make this happen. You need a jack from your car, or if you have mechanic's jack, you could get that as well. It's probably going to make your life a lot easier. You need a tire repair kit if you're repairing. If you're just going to be replacing, you don't need to worry about this. You're going to need a lug wrench. This one is specific for this golf cart. This is 19 millimeter, but you typically will have one that comes with your car and it's going to be the right size for your car. This came out of my Jeep. This also comes with the jack. This is to help you twist it. If you want to use this, you can. I tend not to use that personally. I often just use a screwdriver. I've got pliers to take out the piece of metal that's stuck in my tire. And then I've got a knife here. This is just a utility knife that I'm going to use once we get the repair plug in to be able to cut it off a little bit. That's all you're going to need, but just make sure you have everything or you're going to get stuck halfway through. You might have your car up on the jack and not be able to finish. That could land you in some trouble. The next thing you need is the correct size lug wrench. For the golf cart, I used my socket set to determine it was a 19 millimeter lug nut. If you're changing the tire on your car, it should already come with the lug wrench you need. Now, here's the hardest part. The thing you need to do is loosen the lug nuts on the tire. I initially tried that with my socket set, but it was just too tight. Couldn't quite get it. And make sure you know this is righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. But it feels like trying to do this, I'm going to actually break this socket set here, which I definitely don't want to do. So I think I'm going to have to get the lug wrench, the actual one-piece lug wrench for this size lug nut. All right, we've got the 19 millimeter one-piece lug wrench now. Shouldn't feel like it's going to break, obviously, anymore. The problem is the dealerships, whether it's at a golf cart, a car, van, truck, whatever it might be, they love to over-tighten these things. And so trying to get them loosened can be quite difficult. So like I said, this is the hardest part. You're going to need to put all your might into it. You may even need to stand on it. I know it seems silly, but if you do, you might be able to get more loose. Go through and do that on the other ones as well. All right, the next step is to get this thing in the air. You're going to go grab your jack. I've already started twisting this a little bit. It moves very slow. That's on purpose. But if you're under your vehicle and you're trying to get this thing up in the air, it can take a very long time. So save yourself some effort and go ahead and start twisting this now. And then you're going to go under your vehicle and you're going to measure how high it needs to go and go just under it. I actually measured mine earlier, and this is out of my Jeep. If you remember, I'm doing this golf cart. My golf cart actually sits a little bit higher than my Jeep. So I need to get a piece of wood. This is a 4x4 that I'm going to set on the ground just to give me some extra distance there to cover to make sure that I can get the golf cart in the air. Now you don't have to get it too far in the air. We'll show you that in a second. You want to just see a little bit of daylight under the tire. There's no need to waste all the extra effort to get it, foot in the air. Your jack probably can't even go that high anyway. So let's go ahead and get this thing floating. So we've got just a little bit of space here that I'm going to twist this up with. I use my hands for the most part here. It does come with your lug wrench, has extenders on it too that you can use to stick through the hole that's here. But I found honestly that it's almost just as easy to use my fingers, maybe easier. So this is on the frame. It's on a solid support. And we're going to start to twist it up. You can already hear the golf cart going up. I'm going to zoom out here so that you can see the entire thing start to move. We're just going to keep twisting here until we get some daylight under this tire. So this is the one with the problem, and we're getting pretty close. Another thing you can do that I sometimes will do if my fingers start to get tired here is I'll use a screwdriver. Let me show you how that works. So you can just grab a flathead screwdriver. This is smaller. Again, I like this more than the standard setup that your jack is going to come with because the bar is usually too long. But you can use a screwdriver like this. And there we go. So you can see I can move it freely now. So it is off the ground. Again, no need to really go too much higher than that. You're just kind of wasting your effort at that point. So now that we've done the jack, these lug nuts are probably on a little bit tight again. We're gonna go ahead and take these off. So you can take your lug nuts completely off. Don't lose these. Make sure you remember where you put them. Most cars are going to have 5. Obviously, the golf cart has 4. But you are going to want to hang on to those. I'm putting them right next to our jack. And then from there, you can take the tire off, just like that. All right, so at this point, if all you're going to do now is just put a new tire on there, then you can either fast forward to the end or you can just go ahead and follow that process in reverse with your full-size or compact spare. Just put it back on, use those same lug nuts, tighten it now, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. And then you can bring it back down off of the jack. Make sure that you tighten those lug nuts again after you bring it back down. But if you're looking to fix your flat, then stay with me here. We're going to go ahead and fix this golf cart tire. We can locate the problem and take it out. It's a pretty nasty looking thing. You can hear the air seeping out now from the hole that was there. And we're going to go ahead and get our repair kit, get this thing plugged. Here is our tire repair kit. You get it for under 20 bucks. You know, some have 50 pieces, some have 70 pieces. All you really need is this tool, which you're going to use to roughen up the hole. And then we're going to use the plugs here to thread it through and pull it back out. So the first step in this repair is to grab the spiral probe, the T-reamer. We're going to put it, you can just put it in an angle in the hole. For this, the hole is much smaller than this reamer. So we're going to have to do a little bit of work to get this in there. All right, and then once you've run that through enough times and you feel like the opening is big enough, and do it just one more time here. Then you're ready to get your plug put in. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to grab your T-handle tool that it comes with. May or may not have this extra cap on it, but it should have look something like that. Then you're going to grab one of your plugs. One of these guys, this came with many of them. So I want you to grab one of them. The other thing you're going to want to do is put a little lubricant on the edge of this because you're going to have to get it in and out. So it came with some, which is great. Then you go ahead and thread this through. And you want to make sure that's pretty well centered because you're going to obviously pull the T-tool back out. So we're going to make that about center right there. And you're going to want to shove this in until that repair string, that repair patch, is sticking out about 1/2 inch. And then the last thing to do here is to pull it back out. So we're going to push this down so it doesn't come back out. And there it is. Okay, so we are done with that. All you want to do now, just to make this a little bit easier, is cut the ends off of this. I get a box cutter or something small. Don't use a big knife because it's hard to get it inside the tread. So you'll just cut this off on both sides below the tread, and that's going to be it. To validate the repair, I'm going to fill the tire back up to make sure that it holds. This is a 20 PSI tire, so we're going to fill up to 20 PSI and we're going to let it sit for a little bit just to make sure that there's no problems with it. All right, that's at 20, so we're gonna let it sit for a little bit just to make sure that it holds. Giving it a little bit of time. The tire seems to be holding pressure at this point, so it's time to do everything in reverse now to put the tire back onto the golf cart. And then put your lug nuts on. Then once the lugs are on, we're going to want to bring it back down. And after it's back down, you'll want to check the lugs again to make sure that they're tight. All right. I sure hope this was helpful for you. Do me a favor if you don't mind. Like this video and then subscribe to my channel. That way you'll be the first to know when I post new videos.